Don't adjust your dials. We're back. It's all my fault. I've been too fucking busy.
I don't even know who this guy is across from me. I don't even.
I saw you at a train. I saw you at a train station. I saw you at a train.
You did. We actually should talk about that. That didn't make it in our rundown, but we really should, Andy.
No, we need. It's more important to talk about how excited we are about samples coming back to grocery stores. Cellophane tips and all things above. Holly Wetzel there. I'm Andy Billman here. It's been a busy day for us. We got busy plans, so we had to go on a little early. We can't tell you why. Holly's got a book reading, and I got to do some mathematics, and it's all gonna be great.
I would say you got to do some karate or something instead, but whatever you want to call it, Andy.
It's been a good run. That's all I'll say. It's been a good run. I haven't been running a lot lately, but I'm going to get back on track on that too.
I'm running. I got a new pair of shoes.
That's good.
Yeah, I went to. I stuck with New Balance.
I used to wear them a lot.
By the way, speaking of, we need real quick my shoe experience. So there used to be a New Balance store where I live, and they changed it to a Lucky Shoes.
That happened to a lot of New Balance stores. A lot of New Balance stores went out of business, so that's not unusual, right?
Yeah. So, but the guy's like, when I went there, he's like, "I assure you, we have still all the same New Balance styles,
sure,
like, whatever." So,
sure.
I go there, and it's an older gentleman that's assisting me, and he's like, "Take off your shoes," like my shoes now. I was like, "What?"
That's weird.
And I was like, "No." Well, here's what I'm getting at. So I take them off. He's like, "You have no arch," and I was like, "All right, dude, relax." Like, I'm aware that I don't have the most wonderful archy feet on this planet, nor do I think that they are completely flat. They're not. Okay, just want to preface that. This guy's like, no, you don't have any arch. Look at that. And I was like, okay.
Could we just get over it? Could we, sir, could we just get over it?
So I go ahead. So he gives me like this other pair of New Balance that are a little bit more stable. So for flat footers, as you just kept loving to say. And then so he goes to gets the shoe for me. And it's like old school, puts my foot on one of those like ramp things and takes my foot and just jams it in the shoe and just like yanks you know how like when you were a kid, and at least my mom used to tie my shoes so aggressively.
Yes.
Sometimes I wonder if she was taking her frustration out on me.
No oxygen allowed in your shoe.
And this guy's just, like tight, and wrapping. And I'm like, and he's grabbing my foot and he's adjusting. And I'm like, what year is this? Because this is like a legit shoe salesman back in the day, like totally fitting my foot and point out like the wrapping and retying and reloosening and the whole thing. It was the strangest. I love my new shoes, but let me tell you, it was like I was in another decade, and this guy was pulling away.
I like how he leads off by saying, you have a flat foot. Like, that's a negative. It's like, I didn't
3 different times. Fully aware.
I didn't choose the flat feet, sir. And who gives a fuck? Can you just give me the fucking shoe?
Yeah, I don't need to be chastised about my flat feet.
Seriously?
So
I gotta have crap on my plate.
Yeah. So anyway, yes, there's so I got new shoes since we haven't done the show and talked and the whole thing. That's a new thing for me.
I was a New Balance A6 guy for a long time, and now I wear Nike or Nike.
Oh.
I tried to be funny, totally punted it. That's okay. Well, there's been a lot going on, but anyway, we're gonna fly through the show. I have a lot of tribe thoughts, but we should also start off with the big story of the day, because there's no sports. The Indians, the Cavs, Cavs are hibernating. Lottery coming soon. We'll do a big. Where do you want to go with the Cavs?
Not a hibernation, would you say, this past year? Because that is up for debate.
Talk about a team in transition. And in a serious note, like ownership, is Dan gonna be able to participate? To what's gonna happen to Kobe Altman? To I don't know what I'd call them, Sexton internet rumors. I don't know if they're real rumors I don't really take them seriously yet. I really don't. I don't take this sex and stuff seriously.
No.
So I don't know. So that'll be for another day. But you come on back because we're gonna talk about the tribe. And the Indians made a big announcement today saying we've narrowed down the names. I was like, oh my gosh, that's great. And I looked down and it was like a really nice, well done press release. They did this cool, new thing you see on the internet with different websites where they had this, like, I don't know what you call it, multi-layered thing and tiers. And I was like, oh man, this is so cool. I was like, oh, I like this. They really did a really well. It was really, I mean, in being serious, it's really well thought out. And they're down to only 1,100 names. Almost there.
Just shipping away.
It's so funny. People are like, they still like my name. Like, I think anything is possible.
They like everybody's name. They like everybody's name. I mean, that was like a warrant. Like, I really thought, okay, they're gonna, not that they would release any top names or whatever.
No.
But you know what I think would be cool is if they did in the end have a vote. If they came up with like the top 5 or 3 or something, I think that would be a really good way to engage the fans, feel like they're part of something, get excited about them again, the whole deal.
The one thing I'll allude to is I did like the press release. Like, it was very slick. It was really well thought out, coming from my industry, and we're in the same industry. It was just really nicely done. The 1,100 names is interesting. I don't know what to say. It's interesting. Here's my one note, and they don't have to do it. This is my one note. I like the Indians a lot. I love the Indians. They're great. I would slowly release, kind of like what they do for everything else now. We're down to 900. We're down to 700. Like, I would keep this momentum going because, like, I
can't. We're down to 900 names.
We're down to 700, 500, 300. But to Holly Wetzel's point, now as I say that was not the brightest idea. But the one thing I'll give Holly Wetzel credit for is I was kind of thinking the same lingo. I had a point I would do the top 5. And when that happens, I would either allow the fans to vote. If they don't want to do that, which I'm okay with, I would allow the fans to do a vote anyways through the Indians.com site and see what the fans want to do. And they can go their own direction. But I would do that and drive momentum. I found it, again, it was a very clean release, very well explained. It was very well thought out. The one note I took of it, which I think is good for the organization to do, they're moving forward. They are clearly today saying this is not going to linger. We are on our way. Progress is being made.
Do you think it'll be ready by the time next season starts?
Holly, it has to. When you do something like this, you know this. It has to. It has to.
But they've also been. Now, this was the first time they've really come up with something a little bit more concrete. But they've been like, we think next year, right? They were pretty vague on that.
That's why I'm saying today was a big step forward in that direction. When I'm not trying to say what I read is like, okay, they're going to make a decision here soon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's 1,100 names. That's wonky, but okay, not too wonky, but they're on their way. I did not read that as we're still hemming and hawing. I think it's good. I think it's very healthy for the team. I think it's time. I think it's a good thing. It's a good day. They need to start moving forward with this stuff.
And I wonder too if they're going to with their top sorry, rookie mistake. Cell phone's not turned on.
It's been a long time for us, folks. We're making bad jokes. We got all sorts of microphone issues.
We are.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I lost my train of thought.
You were saying something about the team name. Team name.
Oh yeah. Do you think this is what I think they are probably doing with just my past experience with the Indians and not working for them, but working with them on a lot of different things, especially graphic design. I'm wondering if they're going to take maybe the top 5 to 10, and they're going to mock up a bunch of stuff.
They have
with a lot of different, names. I just don't know what that threshold of number of names will be of what they'll decide to do.
I would at least do the top 3. If I were in their shoes, the top 3. 5, maybe that's too many. Top 3, you need to really how's it? I'm with you. It's this culture? How's a name displayed? How's it going to play on a uniform? How's it going to look on different merchandise? I think that's very important for this team. I really, really do. Mm-hmm. I think it's really, really big. And Look, we won't go into the backstories. I think that's been done about the name change happening. It's happening. It's progressing. I just want to applaud the team. I thought that was the first time. I really enjoyed the press release. It's like this is very well thought out. I thought it was a very slick layout. They're on their way.
Well, we've been talking about this now for weeks. They're just embracing the new norm here. They have to, and getting in front of. They haven't been doing a great job of getting in front of a lot of it. So this is a good, good next step, big step to getting something more concrete and getting in front of such a major deal where there's so many conflicting opinions. And at the end of the day, I know you're not going to make everybody happy, and they know that, and that's okay. But this is the right step in the right direction out of the tough year that they've had. I want them to embrace the fact that I want to have something. I should say I want to have something that I'm very excited about with the Indians, and that's been, for me personally, it's been very hard. So I'm happy that they're getting the ball rolling even more.
The Indians right now are in this weird position where they keep winning games very tight. The Indians have 3 paths, I call it. Path 1 is what you saw on Tuesday. It's a heart attack. Everything's nervous. Everything's down to the last pitch. But they seem to win 70% of those games. Not sure how. It's exciting. Sometimes like a Houdini act, but the Indians win. Then there's this path 2 right now where I see Holly, where it's 3-1, dominant pitching. The Indians seem to come out most of those wins. And then there's the Indians get blown out. It's 11-2. You don't need to watch past the 5th inning. Take care. See you next round. I have actually, as I've watched this, and I think the Indians actually at this point, not getting on the field, obviously, I think the Indians have a lot of room to grow. I see a team actually at this point in the season where I'm like, I can see them improving. They are not playing their best baseball. That is good. I think they have room to grow on this team. I am more of a hopeful believer, as I've been all along. So what a surprise. Are you in my camp? Jared's very wonky. Is Holly Wetzel on my roller coaster train? Here's a seat right here for you. Got the seatbelt. Come on. Sit right here.
You can probably put someone else in that seat.
Oh, come on. Come on. Why?
I just have a bad taste in my mouth about the Indians this year, and I can't. Even my dad, who's like the biggest Indians fan ever, is just like he's just pissed off, and I think for a lot of different reasons. Look, they're still winning. They're still finding ways to win games with their roster. So it's pretty spectacular that they're able to be in the spot that they are right now. I still feel like it's too early in the season to get any type of real hype from me. Someone that's, I barely watched. I'll be honest. I catch box scores and I look. And you wanted me to go on with you after Indians games, and it's on Instagram because I just don't. Okay. It's not giving me any type of tingly good feelings these days. They're just not. I feel like from top down, I just feel like this year has just been so tumultuous for them. And I just never really felt like they've owned up to a lot of it or gotten in front of it or just, I don't know. And I know I'm kind of all over the place with that. I don't know. I don't feel great about them. I just don't. And this is the first time I've ever been like, even with the Browns, they've been fucking terrible. I mean, just beyond terrible, but they kept making changes where they thought they needed to change. They kept staying in front of it, or at least understanding the frustration from fans and other people. And I just don't, the Indians have just kind of done their own thing for so long. And look, a long time it's worked. So I understand that too. I just feel like this year kind of blew up. I have yet to really recover from it. And, I think it's great that they're still hanging in there for right now. There's some of those guys. I love J-Ram. I love some of these guys on the team that I just feel like they deserve a big shot. At this point in the season for me, Andy, to sum it up, I'm just not there yet.
Even though I'm the mayor of Believe, Land, and Hope and loving the Indians, I'm going to give you a 50,000 foot view. I am not naive. there are more people in the Holly Wetzel, I don't want to speak for him, for Jared Watson camp than there are in my camp. And I felt that this year, I agree with Holly's feelings. Even though I love it. I love this team. I'm clearly in every game, watching every game. But I'm hearing more from Holly's perspective than I am from mine. And I'm not surprised at this point. People who generally text me or message me during Indians games, I've not heard from this year. I've not heard from as much. People who I do talk to constantly have been more on the Holly and Jared White train, to be honest with you, where they're been either frustrated or disappointed or not into it. And I the only thing I will say that I've noticed about baseball has a looming couple issues, but there's one looming problem, and that's the strike. And the strike is happening. And if I'm being fair, for the first time since I have been rooting for the Indians, which is 41 years, 42 in August, I have not felt the excitement about, I'm excited, but I've not felt the overall excitement about the season and what's ahead, because I think people really feel like for the first time the Indians are really behind the 8-ball. Money-wise, what's going on with other teams and how they're spending. When you look at other lineups and you see the Indians lineup, there's a disparity in excitement. There is. I'm just being honest. And you can feel it in each game. Even a team like the Twins, who are way below the Tribe, their lineup looks at times more powerful than the Indians have. So this has been the weirdest time for me. There's been times when the Indians have actually not been good, which we all can live through, but there's been general excitement about certain things or whatever else. I hate to admit it, I am very hopeful, and I love watching this team. There's not like Owen Miller doesn't really cut through the mold. Shane Bieber's pitching good, but not great. J-Ram's having a great year. I wish people get more excited about J-Ram. They don't. I love this. This guy needs to be promoted so much more. I think he is a Clevelander through and through. I love his attitude. I love his hustle. I love his smile. He comes out there, and he has proven people who thought Lindor and J-Ram were a couple and Lindor was carrying that couple. It might be reversed, folks. I think it is reversed. J-Ram's actually having a superior, far better year than Lindor.
How about the Lindor thing?
Well, if you want to go down that road, the Mets are very lucky that they are in first place, because that is saving Lindor's hide.
Mm-hmm.
And pressure is building. He's still batting below 200. His fielding's been great, but the Mets keep winning. So that's hiding that fact. And I'm sure there's people who think his average will go up. He's still got the second half of the year. When you talk to Mets fans, I live in a part of the world that has a lot of Mets fans. They are very frustrated. But it's quiet because the team's winning.
Yeah.
That's saving him.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I was thinking about this the other day with him, and, since his batting average has been just, abysmal. I really do think that he will jump back. I think he's got too much riding on himself in this whole thing to, slow. I think there's a couple factors with him. I think, look, coming out of COVID for anyone as a professional athlete has had to have been pretty tough.
Yeah.
Lots of adjustments. And then on top of that, he's going to a new city, new team, new structure, new organization, a lot of that stuff, there's just growing pains with that, so I don't think this will last for him. I think he will bounce back, but no, I think though too, you're right. I think the situation like that with J-Ram and him, that maybe it wasn't all what we thought. Maybe it wasn't all Lindor.
It was not.
Him. And this is showing him leaving has shown holes in his own game and maybe what the Indians were able to make up for him. So it is interesting. I don't want him to fail.
No, it's indifferent.
I'm not happy with this lot of stuff that came out at the end with him and sleeping during the World Series and all that stuff, but he got away with it, and you tend to continue to do things that you get away with. So this sounds like the sleeping, by the way, at the World Series was for him to do that. There was other stuff happening.
There's other stuff happening. His answers, look, he had a wonky exit. Let's just say it. It was a wonky, clunky exit, and it was not. There's been several players, and not from the Indians' wrongdoing. I think the Indians can't do anything about it. I thought Bauer's exit was wonky. I thought Lindor's exit was wonky. I thought Clevenger's exit. Now, those were 2 trades, but I didn't think they were the cleanest. All 3 of them trades. What am I saying? All of them were trades. I just think there have been more sloppy exits lately. And, I kind of miss the days of where Sabathia takes out a full-page ad or Santana was awesome. Like, you don't feel that way with these guys. But that's why I'm saying, like, and by the way, I understand Lindor is the headliner. He's the moneymaker. I get it. It is burying, though, this J-Ram story. J-Ram's having a very good year. He's leading the team in home runs. He has become more of a leader. And I see it in this team. I just do.
How would you say I felt like with the Indians and the older teams, especially in 16 and before, there seemed to be a real camaraderie around the guys. And, I know there's a lot of new guys this year, so it's tough to feel like you're connecting. I think that's the one piece too. I don't feel a connection to a lot of these guys that are on the team. I guess that's what it comes down to. So I'm wondering, do you think, since you've been watching these guys every night, is there a connection with these guys and the whole team? I mean, I think Terry is a big part of that.
Terry's got a connection. Bieber's got a connection. But Holly, here's the thing, and you hit it. And this is why the 50,000-foot view is accurate. There's a team name change. It's not anybody's fault. When team name changes happen, sometimes people start losing interest. It's not. There's no clean team name change usually. Right. That's been and again, even in fairness to the Indians, it's hard. So that's been part of it. COVID's been a part of it. They didn't have full capacity. They do now. If you have full capacity to begin the year, I think that changes everything. Because we all know in Cleveland, the opener means everything. There wasn't an opener this year. It really wasn't the same. So there's been all these things natural things that could spark interest, they were taken away. And then the biggest underlying thing is this Sinclair problem with people watching the games. And I'll be honest with you, it doesn't get talked about enough. And I'll hammer it on this one. That is a problem, and that has really cut people's nerve off. And in fact, I can't get over how many people say they listen to Tom Hamilton rather than even trying to bother to get this Sinclair thing. It's a problem.
I don't, there's something going on there that we don't know. And because I'll tell you, working on that side of the business for many years, we would have major campaigns ready to go.
Of course.
Most of them didn't see the light of day because we ended up getting a deal done. But our marketing group was top notch, and they were ready to throw stuff out. And the teams were armed with what they needed to push people, to push back on the carriers to pick the network back up. This time, I mean, I had to search. I went online. I went through the practice to try and find anywhere really on the Indian site. I went through Bally Sports Twitter. There's barely any mention of it. And I'm shocked. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if they're being told don't or what, because if there's anything of the bread and butter of especially RSNs and especially with baseball, especially in Ohio, is the Indians. I mean, their ratings have always been fantastic, despite their record. So I don't get it. Something's going on there. And for them to not be pushing it at all, they're not putting any pressure on Sinclair. Sinclair doesn't seem to really give a shit. So I don't really know something's going on there that we don't know. It's mind-boggling to me that there is no real push.
That, along with those other things we talk about, is why we're here. And that's why from the 50,000-foot view, even though I'm positive Believer-lander, Holly's seats are much more filled than mine. And there's all these different debates about why we can do it. I gave you some reasons. If you had to ask me, gun to my head in Vegas, what I think the biggest one is, I actually think it's a Sinclair deal. I really do. I've been surprised by how many people are really affected to the point they're not watching games. That plays part of it.
For sure. I think all of those factors that you named, Andy, all add up into what's really going on. I think just, sports in general, as we know, this past year with COVID, just took a nosedive across the board. People just stopped caring. And, with the Indians, their year, it was just one thing after another that they were dealing with that people, they just got fed up. My dad's one of them. I mean, he's that perfect example. And he's like, I can't watch them. I just can't do it. And it's not right now. He's frustrated. He's pissed about the payroll. There's just a lot of different things that factor into that, and he knows that. But it's just, yeah. I mean, the TV deal thing by far is a major mystery to me, because never have I seen that zero push to get
There's
these deals
no
wrapped up.
effort, no concern, no sense of urgency. Nothing.
None. I mean, we would have small providers drop the network, and it was all hands on deck, whatever we had to do. We also tried to line up. We never had deals line up at the same time, because if you had two major providers at the same time, that was bad, real bad. So it's interesting seeing Sinclair's way of kind of handling this. And the one piece I think is interesting with Sinclair in the Cleveland area is that they don't have any locally owned stations here. So there's no real leverage for them to be using and trying to tie it to a local affiliate carriage agreement. So that's probably part of it too. It's not just in Cleveland that they're dealing with this. I mean, there's other markets that Sinclair is just not really giving a shit for. And I'm wondering if they're really betting, I mean, pun intended, on this, getting these betting deals and into the States. Ohio's up next.
That'd be a big win. The follow up on,
maybe they're looking for money wise. I don't know. It's very interesting.
That's a huge win for the Indians. They need gambling. If I were the Dolans, I'd be banging on the door. Please allow gambling to happen. It would help us out a lot, because that would put pressure on people. Because when you start gambling, people want to start watching the events live. They don't want to listen to Tom Hamilton. Tom Hamilton's wonderful. I love him. When you're gambling on a game, you want to watch it. You want to see it. My last thought on that is this. There's a lot of mixtures here. But, over the years, we've been through, budget cuts, players being traded. Like, we've dealt with that crap. This is the first year there hasn't been that charge. There's no opening day. It's been a wonky thing. You don't have as much television viewers, like all that crap. I think it all played into it. Just can't get out of its own way. And again, there's usually an electric spark. There always is for the Indians. There's always something that gets us going since the 90s. There hasn't been this year. And I can't explain it. And I don't know if it can be self-created. I don't know. I've been surprised because, again, we've been through all these storylines over the years as fans. These aren't new. Trading players, big-time players, budget cuts. We've been through that shit. There's still no – I'll just tell you from simple IG numbers, the Cavs get more hits than the Indians do.
And the Cavs traditionally have been getting more fans in the stands. Now, but again, the Indians always got better ratings. They've always had really good ratings. That's why I'm like, you don't even care about that, and I'm sure that they do, right? But there seems to be just this lack of.
There's no urgency. That's all I can say.
Yeah, across the board on anything.
Everything. I've been doing this a long time. It's been since the 80s, honestly.
Oh.
Been since the 80s.
Over 30 there, Andy.
You're a great partner. I'm dead. 35 today. Speaking about do we care? I'm going to transition quickly. I don't care about the OTAs. I've been trying to get into this. I listen to Tony Grossi. I listen to other people. I'm like, okay, the Browns. I'm so far. I got my Browns hat on. I'm ready to learn about OTAs. I don't give a shit. When does the season start? Can we just kick the fucking ball? We know we're going to kick ass. I don't give a fuck who's in camp. I don't even know if I care about these other stories. It's the first time as a fan I know this is just. Can we just start?
Why do you not care?
I don't care about any storylines. Holly, it doesn't matter. Are you really concerned that Baker Mayfield's on camp? Come on.
Look, I've been going back forth about this in my head for a while. I see both sides, hands down for sure, both sides, because I'm with you in the sense of like, does it really matter? Like at the end of the day, is this going to make a difference or whatever? No. Did COVID prove at the end of the day that they didn't need to be in the same room? They could do more than half their shit on Zoom.
Stefanski can do anything. Have we not learned from the book of Stefanski? And by the way, this guy gets challenged from day one. He had an hour-long press conference on Wednesday. Hour.
Yeah, but
that's a long press conference.
I will say, on the other hand, because of COVID, because of everything they lost out on last year, because of that time, that in-person time, being able to not have to go through all these crazy protocols, for Kevin Stefanski to take his mask off on the field when he found out that he didn't have to do it and whatever, and he took it off in the middle of the practice, one of the practices. I feel like, well, yeah, I mean, don't you want to be there? Like, man, we did not get to do any of this last year. I'm ready to fucking go. I'm out on that field. What do you need me to do? I want to see my boys. I want to get out there. I want to start. And we got a big ass game that we're opening with. So I want to do everything I can. So that's where I kind of go back and forth, because really in the grand scheme of it, no. But do I think someone like Baker Mayfield, he's the leader of this team. There's certain things he's held to that other players are not. He's definitely under a microscope. Look, I know he's working his ass off. He posted this amazing video with himself.
I saw your comments. Your eyebrow raise.
I'm gonna need some time alone with this video.
I mean, I was gonna say, do you need a 6 jersey? You may. I
might.
You may.
I was like, I am here for this. Rewatch, So I know that he's working on. I know that he's working on it, But
that's pretty clear from the video.
Them together on the field. You would think after a year like this, you can look at it both ways. Does it matter? They were doing drills off of Zoom to, okay, let's just blow off mini camp. Voluntary. I don't know. I go back and forth about it. I see both sides.
The thing I'll just tell people is when it comes to camps being mandatory for summer camp, training camp, that's where I'm interested. I'll be interested in that.
Right.
This stuff I've learned, it doesn't fucking matter.
No, but it's exciting because we come off this awesome year.
I know.
And it's like you want football season to start soon, like so fast. I
agree. Yeah. I just have learned in that shitty 1-31 period, all those guys showed up. All of them. It didn't matter. Yeah, I've learned these things don't matter. There's something that JC Treader I do agree about. Do I think he's going too far extreme? Of course I do. But he's trying to leverage himself to make a new contract. That's what leverage does. Do I think that there's some repercussions from this? I guess time will tell. I don't think it matters.
Yeah, he definitely did take it too far on vets don't need to go to playing preseason and all this stuff. It's like, okay, you know what? Just like I may be better at my job than someone else, but that doesn't mean that I just get to skip out on shit because I'm better. Like that doesn't happen. I mean, you can't at some point, I mean, everything, and by the way, everything's a moneymaker. Everything behind all of this is a moneymaker. So when you start to take away any type of opportunity for a fan, for someone to pay for something, it ain't happening.
The only thing I'll say, which I am proud, it hasn't gone bonkers. There's been noise about this, but it hasn't gone bonkers, and I'm glad. It shouldn't. Do I wish Josh Johnson was there? I guess. I don't know. Baker Mayfield, Holly's making some good points there, sure, but I'm fine with it. I just have learned it doesn't. I don't think all this matters.
Well, no, I don't think we're gonna look back. Well, look, okay, say we get blown out against the Chiefs. Is this going to be at all brought up?
Those, they have 5 turnovers. That would be brought up, but not this.
I mean, that's the part you kind of struggle with because you would think you think as hungry and eager as they are, they're going to be at everything that they. I go to events for my work when I'm not required to.
Wetzel, I agree with you. I just interviewed a guy named Jim Larrance. Jim Larrance always talked about how he went to every event for the Yankees. Middle of the road player who had a huge home run in 1996. Born in Lakewood, Ohio. Played for the Yankees for 6 years. Big part of the reason why they won a championship in 96. Huge. And he said, I went to every event. I would sign things. I would do things. I would make extra time. I'd want to make sure to be there because I want to give back because I know that's how I get my meal ticket, and I think it's the right thing to do. You're saying some things. We're all saying the same things. Myles Garrett is obviously showing this. There's some other people showing this. I get it. What I have learned is some things have changed. And it started changing not just recently. This has been years ago. And things like this have lost its luster. People can argue whether it's right. People can argue why it's wrong. I noticed this about 5 years ago with this stuff. It doesn't matter. And I saw it because I would read things about the Browns OTA, and it just wouldn't translate, or you wouldn't see anything really developing. And it's like, well, everybody's fucking here. How are we not better? And it's like, I get
that. I think now we're on a real pivotal year here. We could.
Oh, we're going to
the pressure that the Browns are going to be under now.
Oh,
Andy is beyond, and I don't know how much they really. I don't know. They haven't talked about it as much, obviously, because they haven't had a real chance to, because it's at the off season. But I want to know: do they understand that? Like, do they really know the scrutiny that they're going to be under? I mean, and so while before did it really matter when we were when we ended up being 1-31 and they didn't show up, or they did show up or whatever? It didn't, because of all the other major things going on. I just feel like everything they do now is going to get scrutinized. Everything.
Here, to Holly's point, it is AFC Championship or bust. And I know that's rude. I know that's hard. Sorry.
No, but it's the truth.
You got to make the Final Four.
So that's why I go back to show up. It's show up.
I hear it. I understand it. I'm not saying I don't agree with it. I just, for the first time, I don't care. I have tried reading these articles. I find them very boring. I try.
Well, yeah, and I don't know how much these are real. This is going to generate any news stories, but I think people just want to know that, look, we all know it's a business, but they're very heavily rooted Browns fans.
Of course.
Want every piece that they possibly can get.
Holly, absolutely. Here's my one hint of warning, not about OTAs, but to what you're saying. You gotta fucking win.
Well, they have to.
You gotta fucking win.
And can you imagine if the Vets got to sit down on preseason games and the Browns go and lose the first 3 games or something? Can you imagine?
Let's not talk about that. It's not going to happen.
Well, they're not going to do that. I'm just because that's not going to happen. But I'm just saying you don't want to keep taking and taking.
This is why the Cleveland fans are great. Because there is so much worry and hand wringing, and I'm usually that fan. I am like, this is 90s Indians. Cavs 15, 16, 17. Folks, buckle up, drink some champagne. Folks, we're going big places. Well, Kansas City's a rough start. After that, we're going to smoke some teams. We'll be fine.
And it's just, look.
We'll be putting our feet up.
I don't want to lose sight of the rough first half of the season last year. But so I want to believe that, that's over and we are moved on from that, but I don't want to pretend. I don't want to look through I have had rose-colored glasses on for the Browns all of my life, but and I want to take them off, and I do still worry. I just do. And until they go out there this year,
you know what's so funny?
It's terrible.
You know what's so funny? This is, again, I'll give you the 50,000-foot view. There's more people on your train than mine. I don't care. I like reading about Anthony Walker. I like reading about Myles Garrett, what he had to say. I tried listening to that hour press conference, Stefanski. I like Stefanski. I found it boring. Yeah,
but I don't know how much OTAs are for you.
It's not for me this year. I loved it. 2 years ago, I was gripping. I would be working. I was doing a busy job. I'd be like, I gotta pump the brakes. I gotta fucking turn. Remember OBJ? I forget what happened 2 years ago, but OBJ wasn't here. He was here, and he showed up, and that was a Freddie Kitchen year. Holly. I was reading that was Duke Johnson declaring he wanted to leave. I was reading every second of that OTA. I will never forget that OTA. I was living and dying like it was already September.
Yeah.
This year.
Well, I know of course, it's a great thing to have that we're not fixated on them 24/7.
No, I don't want to be. I'm busy.
I know you're watching every Indians game.
I'll be here every minute, folks.
But I just that's how I feel. I think I'm so happy Myles showed up to get out there and do work.
He looks good, by the way. Guy looks great.
Sure does.
So Holly,
Sure does.
so let's give the meter real quick, and then we'll move on to Tebow time. Some of the things.
Yeah.
Stefanski, Garrett, and Baker. Who's the deck shuffler?
Stefanski's first. There's just
All right, that beard, that chin.
The Browns photog on Instagram posted this picture of him. I think it was yesterday, and he's like, and just that chisel.
Poor Ryan Garco getting blown away, blown away.
Because he did follow me back there for a while, and he unfollowed me. So.
Garco.
I know.
Oh, well, we're going to talk about that the next show. We don't have time today.
I know. And I did send him a message. I was like, thank you for following
Come
me.
on,
and
dude.
He followed me, but let me know if you want to follow me again.
What is that?
I don't know. He's married, kids, lives in California, coaching baseball, living a life.
You know how to follow somebody.
Be still my heart.
Ryan Garco, we're coming after you next Friday. Don't you worry. There's nothing going on in June except for the Indians. We got tons of time. We'll do the Ryan Garco section. Now here's another one where Holly and I are opposite. I think Tim Tebow coming to play. Nice man. Wonderful guy. Happy. I mean, nice man. Urban Meyer, great coach. I don't get this at all. I'm sorry. I think this is silly. I can't believe. Thank God this is not happening for the Browns. I would be losing my mind. This would be the OTA story where I'd be like, oh my God, Tim Tebow got 15 passes. Why is he getting any passes?
Hey, he can be very versatile.
Oh,
he did his workout. Urban wasn't even
no.
there for the workout.
You don't believe in the Indians, but you believe in this? Oh, yeah, come on.
Tim Tebow is an athlete. He is an athlete. Okay.
10 years ago.
He's been major league. He played professional.
He's fine.
Football. He went and played professional baseball.
Fine.
And he's coming back. So
I like that hair whip
in my face, but that was perfectly timed, wasn't it?
Set the edge is getting on groove now. We're in groove. How's that?
So I fucking love it. I love everything about it. I can't wait. We're gonna be Tebowing again. It's gonna be the whole thing. So good. I'm here for it. Good. I want it. I'm rooting for him. I hope that he, has some success.
I'm so sad we're not playing the Jaguars. I would love to see Tim Tebow going after pass. This is if I were a Jaguars fan, I'd be losing my mind. There are better things to do than nurture the Tim Tebow Urban Meyer relationship.
You know who's showing up at every voluntary OTA?
Oh, they're going to sell out. Look, I'm not
Tim
stupid. Buddy Martin, good guy. Everybody will be there with their pom-poms. Yay, Tim Tebow. It's fucking dumb. He hasn't been playing. He's been playing baseball, kind of. Nice man.
Once an athlete, Andy.
Oh,
always an athlete.
Well,
I'm here for it. I hope he succeeds.
I would not know. I was never an athlete, nor will I.
I just don't get it. I don't get the Tebow hate. I don't get it.
I'm not hating. It doesn't make sense. Why would you? Whatever. Not my team.
He has played before. It's not like he's never played.
10 years ago.
The baseball part's even crazier to me than him coming back and playing in the NFL.
It's all silly. If he was that good, he'd be playing.
All right, he's gonna be the next Anderson Fairchild.
Oh, come on. All right. Jaguar fans, enjoy. 1-17. What is it? 17 games. 1-16 coming your way. Can't wait. Hey, not my team.
They're not going to go 1-16.
Enjoy those out routes. Can't wait. Tim Tebow. Anyways, love it. And I feel bad. I like the guy, and I like the man, and I like his story.
And Trevor Lawrence, you think they're going to go 1-7? They're 1-16.
2-15.
Who do you think they're going to beat? I guess I don't even know who they're playing this year, though. I
don't know. It doesn't matter. They're terrible.
Do you want to know better? God, I want to remember this. 2-15.
They're not good. That team is not good.
Andy,
that is old Browns type of teams. Look. Last year was a perfect example. The Jaguars outplayed the Browns, and who won? Browns. You know why? The Jaguars are terrible. That was my first time the Browns were back.
We barely.
But who got the W? Who took out the garbage? The Browns.
Yeah, but they didn't have Trevor Lawrence like they're going to, or Tim Tebow. So this is a whole different story.
Look, in 2022, come talk to me. Next year.
All right, 2-15 is just, real steep. But
Trevor Lawrence is going to win 3 or 4 games in the league. Good player. Even Peyton Manning went 3-13. Or what was it? 3-13, 2-14, something like that.
Yeah, but there's been many other rookie quarterbacks that had fantastic rookie seasons.
Boy, you are drinking that Jaguar juice. I love it. Yeah, you better. Yeah. Sip some Great Lakes.
This is good, actually. I'm drinking this. It's called Crushworthy Great Lakes. It's a low-cal citrus sweet. That's what I'm drinking.
Over the weekend, I had mimosas on Monday, and then what did I have on Merlot. And Bailey's and coffee.
Oh, that's your signature.
Oh, I love a good.
Didn't you order that when we were at dinner after our live show?
Yes.
And you looked over at me. I'll never forget. You're like, I am drunk again. Just totally like unsolicited, just out there. I think Jason Lloyd and I were talking, and you just out of nowhere blurted that right out. And we're like, all right. Welcome to the party. Make sure
everybody's aware.
And I am drunk again. And I have to put it on a flight in like 6 hours.
And I made it. And I was on that baseball field. And I thought I was going to vomit out of my eyeballs. But I made it.
I was impressed.
That was absolute hell. Ugh. For parents out there who know, baseball games are really long in Little League. And when it's hot and you've been drinking the night before, it's brutal.
Ugh. Just thinking about that makes me sweat.
Oh, I was like sweating out of every kind of pore in my body.
Just that it gives me the chills.
Oh, I took so many showers that day. I just like.
Oh, by the way, speaking of showers, my sister and brother-in-law got me this for I moved, and they got me this shower head that's like it's like a filter.
What's up, Davis?
It's like one of those like spa ones where the water comes out really, really, like the water pressure combined and everything. It's like feels like a massage. Oh, let me tell you, I'm a big bath person. Okay.
I am
That's how many baths I've taken in the past like 2 months.
I am too. And I actually like the place I rent, and I'm not going to be renting here much more. I've got to get a good shower. My shower's good. It's not great. I want a great.
You need the shower head. It's life changing.
I'm with you. I want a great.
I'll send you the info.
I want it. It's actually, I got to talk to my landlord tomorrow. So I got to drop off the rent check, and my shower head's acting wonky. So that's your shower head update. All right. So real quickly, Javius, good to see you. Just want to make sure you heard that shout out. Holly and I are going to wrap up here. NBA playoffs. I've been into the West. I don't care about the East. We'll do a whole thing on the Celtics next week. I'm not going to do it today. It's too long. The NBA playoff viewership's up 61%, but that's against 2020 numbers. 2020 numbers were terrible. So they're up 3% from that's about, and by the way, those are good numbers. So they're on par. Here's the one thing I told Holly off air, so I'll say it now. The Lakers Suns fascinating tonight. And by the way, the Mavericks won again. So the Clippers are always, by the way, that's our boy Tyronn Lue. That's a bad loss for the Clippers. They lose that game.
Yeah.
That's a big game. Lillard going off. I watched that. That was interesting. All the East stuff, I don't care. Don't care.
I know. Same. I don't either. I mean, except for Kyrie and his crazy antics and shit he's saying and all over the place.
Why can't he just be calm? Why can't he be calm? Why can't you just? You're on the best team in the East. Just relax. Take a breath. And in fairness, though, now the flip side, whether it's what happened with the Morant family, which was ridiculous and awful in Utah, what's going on. And by the way, whatever we want to say about Kyrie should never have stuff thrown on him. Never.
Oh, absolutely. That is crossing the line. Absolutely.
And then what happened to Trae Young was the worst to me. Spitting is just inexcusable. There's been a lot of fan stuff going on in the NBA game, so I guess we'll end here. We got to talk about samples in stores, so we'll end there. But quickly on this, I have noticed this building with the what is that with the Barstool, with all this Twitter interaction, fandom. There's a lot more time now where fans are getting acknowledged for crazy stuff. I really noticed it jumping. Was it last year or the year before with Bills Mafia, where they'd have an annual, like, how can Bills Mafia people break their neck today? Like a guy jumping off table. It was insane, some of those videos. And I am not surprised this is happening. And this does happen. This is not new. Because for a while, Holly brought it up to me offline, and she's right, streakers and stuff like that, but they took that away, and that's actually helped. There was actually an issue at one point with people running on the field, especially streaking. Yeah. This is a problem now, and I don't know if it's going away because fans are becoming celebrities by doing stupid, awful stuff, and wrong and racist and negative. And if they get promoted, they're going to keep doing it. They got to fix it.
Oh yeah,
got to fix it.
When one person does it, they get on camera, they get a little leverage from that, it's going to continue. I think there's a lot of factors. I don't know how much the COVID and people being like cooped up has a huge, do I think it has maybe a piece of it? Sure, maybe a small one. Do I think that is this some type of retaliation against what the NBA has been so outspoken on a lot of different?
Well, I hope not. That's terrible if that's true. That is not the way to react.
There's a lot of different, possible factors that may be leading into this, but I think a part of it though, Andy, is that like they've gotten away with it before to a certain extent. Now they are getting on camera. Now they are getting likes, and they're trying to push it on social media. But it's interesting. Like my dad used to have third row seats behind the visitor bench at the Coliseum for the Cavs, and he said that. There was a fan taunting Charles Barkley the entire game. And finally, Charles Barkley just took a cup of Gatorade and just threw it at the guy.
By the way, keep going.
And I'm not opposed to that. Not that I'm supporting that by any means, but I just think the guy probably absolutely deserved to get that thrown back at him. And I think fans feel like they are entitled sometimes to go into these arenas and stadiums and be able to say whatever they want, because at the end of the day, they would not be saying that if they saw this guy on the street. They wouldn't be. There's no way. They do it because they know they're protected, that they know that they'll get likes and attention out of it. Why it's becoming this violence, I don't get it. I love the heckling. I think it's funny sometimes, the jokes and everything. I love that's a lot of baseball games, and you try to get the players' attention, and they'll turn around and they'll kind of smile, and all of that's fine. It's when you start to get physically violent with athletes, for what reason? I mean, that doesn't make any sense to me, except to be a total, oh God, I don't even want to say it, just a total dick.
It's getting to the point where it's going to take a major, major moment, and I hope it doesn't happen, where this is going to get to the extreme. It's heading that direction. I'm warning everyone. It's heading in that direction. For people who don't know, watch an incident that happened in either 03 or 04 with the White Sox and Royals, where two fans out of the White Sox, it was in the old Comiskey, where they came on, not the old Comiskey, whatever their Parker's name back then, and they came on and fought the first base coach for the Royals. And it was terrible. The guy ended up going to the hospital. I'm being honest. I hope I'm wrong. That's where we're going if this doesn't stop.
And privileges for fans are going to be pulled away, permanently in certain places. If you can't keep your shit together. I mean,
and by the way, they should.
Right. I mean, look, the NFL's there's always fans fighting each other in the NFL. That seems to be and I get fans fighting opposing fans. That's forever going to be something that,
too much alcohol, one weird look, one misinterpreted comment. When you start to go after the
players physically like that, spitting on them, throwing stuff at them, I don't know do you really hate the team that much that's what you're doing? I mean, you're paying money. That's to do that, to get arrested, to lose your job. I mean, what are you gaining?
JVS, I completely agree with you. There's another incident too. They should be prosecuted on Facebook. Here's another one quickly. There was an incident too about 10 years ago where a Phillies fan was there. He's an off-duty police officer, so he's a police officer, and a person vomited on their child and punched the dad in the face. There's been some crazy stuff. It has not been contained well, and I hate saying this. I hope I'm wrong. It's going to get worse. I don't see it improving. I just don't. I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I've been shocked by the NBA stuff though. Shocked. I love samples in a store. You got toothpick and cellophane. You got Andy Billman. I'll be right there fucking putting that shit in my mouth.
Hey, wait. Jesus. Andy, real quick.
Hot dogs, cheese.
All
Don't
of the above.
matter.
Before, real quick, who do you got tonight, Lakers or Suns? Do you think the Suns pull it out?
Lakers will definitely win. I believe in LBJ. He'll win this game. Game 7, come and ask me. Different story.
Okay. I'm taking Suns tonight.
Everyone is.
Okay.
I think
Anyway.
the Suns are going to have trouble closing out, but I think the Suns will win the series.
Okay.
I do. And I think, and I look, LBJ, JVS on Facebook Suns. Here's the one thing, though. It's good for the sport to see the Suns win. Phoenix is a good town. You have good fans, and it would be fun to see. Holly Wetzel is frozen, so I'm going to say goodnight. Take care. Roll Tribe Roll. JVS, thank you for joining the show, along with everybody else. We will see each other next week. Holly Wetzel frozen. Andy Billman here. See ya.